other opportunities rather than miss. My friend here talked about issues and problems surrounding the plastics. We have crop residues after planting. Can there be innovations that when you have these crop residues can be converted to bioplastics? Those are some of the things that we need to address. And those are some of the areas that jobs can be created for the youth. Yeah.
Brilliant. Gerance, let's talk about this issue on especially finance framework. And the world is looking towards a green transition, and an estimated $700 billion will be required to develop green energy in Africa alone, and yet it received only 2% of the 2.8 trillion invested globally in renewables between 2000 and 2020. We are also globally, the statistics show that Africa is contributing only 4% of emissions globally. When you look at the disparities in the finance framework, what exactly is going on? As the Gen Z will tell you, why is the math not mathing?
I wouldn't say like I'm a Gen Z myself, but most probably I'm there. Technically, when you talk about finance mechanism, it depends on whose interest is in these finance mechanism. But because most of the time the finance mechanism takes the it's not good to use these words in Kenya, but yeah, like up, down, top down approach. But you need to make
use
sure
the words you want to use.
you make sure that this approach in terms of mechanism takes the bottom up type of approach.
Yes.
In such a way that like now this money is brought to the communities, the ones that are really affected, the ones who really have innovations, because technically like the world is moving to ecological agriculture.
Yes.
You wonder like why it's really expensive for you to eat organic food, and you're like somewhere down in Isiolo, as he said, they're eating organic food every day. So why don't you just go and put these scale up these ecological farming back at these communities?
Yes.
The same thing with plastics. Oil is really subsidized, like very, very deeply subsidized. But when you come to subsidization of like solutions like solar, like wind and hydroelectric, you find like the investments do not go there. So basically they're investing in the wrong path, and I should tell like all the investors who are listening to us this today, they should invest to the future, which is renewable energy and a just transition for our workers and also the people who work in these industries. Yes.
When you talk about renewable energy, there are still policies that hinder, before you go back to Eliud, there are still policies that hinder this, green development, green energy conversation. For instance, there is a regulation on the amount, or rather the number of solar powered panels or energy levels that you can have, rather, solar panels that can produce certain levels of energy in Nairobi alone. You cannot produce to a certain industrial extent. Do you think that we also need to look at those policies that, as Africa, we seem to have policies that are detrimental to ourselves?
Yeah, I would say like yes, as much as like you have frameworks and policies that are in place, those policies and frameworks should work for the people, should work and should make sense to the local mwananchi. So definitely the frameworks needs to, as he said like before, like you should involve the community from down and make sure that they understand this and this is happening.